Hello everybody, John Fulford here. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Link to the Discord in the description. Join our Discord. Send me your Spotify link to one of your songs and I'll add it to our Spotify playlist so we can all listen to each other's music, like each other's music, and stream each other's music. This video is about a very important tip for sync licensing, entertainment business, and life in general. I know there are many videos out there, probably on my channel and most likely on other channels too. 5 tips to land more syncs. Do this and your career will blossom. All this stuff, right? But the more I've been thinking about it, this tip is gonna be beneficial in all aspects of your life. And my success, or whatever you base that on, whatever amount of success I think I have, or you think I have, or the universe thinks I have, can be attributed mainly to one thing, and that is showing up in the first place. Okay? I live in Gainesville, Florida. It is astounding the ability that Gainesville musicians have at talking themselves out of work. Okay? It is unlike anything I've ever seen. So you shouldn't do that. You should show up. If the brief says we need something by 11 a.m. tomorrow and you could reasonably believe that you could submit something that sounds good, you just have to tweak maybe an old song or something you're working on, do it. Okay? Do it. If you're linking up with a co-writer and they send you stems and they say, well, when can you do this? And you say, I'll have it by noon on Tuesday. Make every effort to get it in at noon on Tuesday. And if you can't, let them know what happened. Let them know why. I'm not saying you have to hit every deadline. I'm just saying you have to try to hit every deadline. Okay? And yes, life happens. Things happen. There's a hurricane going on right now. My power could go out any second now. So how am I going to work on things if my power goes out? See what I'm saying? I did a writing camp in Asia about 6 years ago with these writers. And some of writers I brought from America, and they had some writers in Asia. Now we have a big sync placement brewing in America, possibly for these songs we did in Asia, because it's an Asia-related sync. So these songs would be put at the top of the pile, so to speak. They just need to be tweaked a little bit. And the pushback and the excuses I've had from these vocalists out there and their A&R people and their managers, it's astounding. Something that should take 2 hours isn't getting done after weeks and weeks. So if I land this placement, it's going to be from something that I did with Asian writers that I had control of. I had the stems. I made sure the final vocals were taken, things like that. Show up. Okay? Just show up. You don't have to win every brief, but you do have to read every brief. You know how many briefs I've gotten where I almost want to delete it? I've gotten a few, not because I do read the briefs. I don't want it to seem like I've gotten dozens and dozens, but there's been a few briefs that I've gotten that I don't think I have a song that fits until I read the brief. And then I go, oh wait, I have a couple songs that fit. Just be deliberate. Read the brief. See if you could get a song going. If the brief calls for a song that you know you could do and you have to send it by next Thursday, call up a couple buddies and knock the song out. You probably won't land the brief, but you're going to exercise that muscle, that deadline muscle, so that if and when something big does come through, you'll already know what to do. You'll already exercise that muscle. It's like riding a bike or driving a car. Okay, and it's better to do it now when the stakes are low than when someone's actually counting on you to deliver something at a certain date and time. I also know a lot of musicians that are great musicians, technical, they know how to mix, they know how to master, they do this, they do that, they can synthesize their own analog patches, they can synthesize their own digital patches on like the digital, hardware synths. They can make patches from scratch. They know the difference between a sine wave, a saw wave, a triangle wave, all this stuff, square wave, whatever. But they couldn't hit a deadline if the world depended on it, it seems like. Obviously, if the world depended on it, they might be able to do it. But they shut down when you say, I need a song 128 BPM in A minor that's 2 minutes long with an A section and a B section. They don't know what that means. They shut down like a robot. And I've seen it throughout my career. Okay? So the more because they never exercise that muscle. They go in the studio, they spend 12 hours in the studio, usually at nighttime, right? Doing stuff that they want to hear, that they want to do. Oh, the music took me in a different direction. The music took me in a different direction. You know, like that kind of vibe. And they make good music. That's great. But as soon as you try to give them guidelines, it's like their power button hits. And they don't respond to you. They disappear for like a year. And then they come back. Hey, man, you know. So be careful of that stuff. Showing up is, I don't want to say it's like 80 or 90% of the game, but it's like at least half is just showing up, being cognizant. You know, you get an email of a brief. Read the brief. See if you could actually do it. Even if you don't turn the song in. Even if the deadline is tomorrow, but you say, let's try to knock this out in 5 days. We won't submit the song, but we'll have it in the catalog for next time. I think on a previous video I said, you should be collecting these briefs anyway. Even if you can't write something right now, next time you're in the studio, what should we write? Okay, here's this brief I got 3 months ago. We should do a couple things like this in case it pops up again, right? So showing up and being cognizant and showing up every day, you know, a little bit each day goes a long, long way. Hey, it rhymes. Show up every day, a little bit goes a long, long way. And when you start thinking like this and doing these actions yourself, you're going to see a lot of flaky people start to appear. And then you're going to say, okay, that's why you haven't made it yet. That's why you don't have a lot of placements yet. And then these people over here do, because they show up, they do stuff, you know? Okay, everybody. I hope that was useful. I'm John Fulford, in the middle of a hurricane. Music licensing podcast at gmail.com. Join the Discord, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.